Latest repair project. First of all, the tools I need: an angle grinder, Dremel with a cutoff wheel, a drill, safety goggles. Because your eyes are really kind of important. You don't want them to get little pieces of sheared or metal shavings in your eye. Here's what's the problem with this chair. It folds up. You can see there's a pivot point on this part on this side. You can see it broke off, it snapped. There's the pivot point. Here's one that I've already drilled out. You can see there's the hole. I gotta enlarge that hole, but I took my angle grinder and I ground the head off that bolt and then stud, whatever you want to call it, and here's the other side. So the idea is you cut that off with the Dremel, grind that off with the angle grinder, then you drill out this with the drill, and then you put a bolt in there with a lock washer probably, and a spacer. There's a little space there. I've got a spacer here somewhere under all this, but the idea is that you put the bolt in there, a spacer there to hold it, the correct distance apart, and then your chair will then fold up like it should. Maybe put a little Loctite on it, even if it is a lock nut, just to make sure it stays there. So that little project will be today. Well, I did this side. I got the two holes. There's one, there's the other. Took this angle grinder and I ground off the rivet heads, or whatever kind of heads they were. There's one right there. And you take the angle grinder and you go grind and you get that off. It takes about 10 seconds. I mean, it doesn't take long because that's just a small little button, and that's a really overpowering for this particular application. But I don't have a smaller angle grinder, so that's one I have to use. On this side, in the dark, obviously, there's a drill out the hole there, drill out the hole right there, and I've got my two bolts. There's one. I'm not going to use that nut. I'm going to get a lock nut somewhere, or I'm going to use a binding post of some sort, something like that. To go there, this is a little spacer. I have to find a hard plastic spacer, approximately that size, to use on the other side, because this came off the chair. This one fell off, and I managed to find it, but the other one's long gone. So get something to use as a spacer here and here. Bolt this all back together, and the chair theoretically should work. We'll find out. Okay, here's the repair. I put a bolt through here. I got a spacer in my parts box that I found. I cut down to the right width. Put a lock washer and a flat washer and a nut on it. Same on the other side. Flat water. I was originally going to get a lock nut, but I couldn't find one, so I just used lock washers to do the trick. And that's it. Just a little grinding and a little drilling, and that's the extent of it. So this chair has been brought back to life. Go back in our backyard. And I hope you found this useful in some ways.